welcome friends. Thank you for joining the first ever Apaleo employee interview via video. Today I'm speaking with Apaleo's very own Lord of Onboarding, Stefan Willms. Thank you so much for allowing me to come and join you at your fantastic restaurant in Oldenburg.
Thanks for having me. Although it's not my restaurant, it's my wife's, but
yeah. Association.
Yeah, we're kind of associated, yeah.
Perfect. So today I just have some really fun questions for you, just so our viewers can get to know more about the Appaleo team. Thank you for being the first video.
Thanks.
Lovely. So just to get started, could you tell me a little bit about your background? Who exactly is Stefan Willms?
Yes. Who am I? Tough question. My background is kind of unusual for where I'm at now. I actually studied microbiology, and at some point, in a totally unrelated field, met my now wife, and at some point, she decided to open a restaurant, and I was like in the middle of studying still, and just went, yeah, I'm gonna help you a bit. And from helping a bit, this pretty quickly went to being full on within the restaurant business. And at some point then we had to decide if I will stay within the business or if I'll finish my studies. And then my wife became pregnant, and it's kind of a sealed the deal, and I stayed within the business, and I actually stopped studying. And then we ran the restaurant for a few years together with my brother-in-law. Actually, my brother-in-law and his sister are the ones who were like the driving forces behind this, and I was just the guy that just happened to be a boyfriend at the time. And then we were pretty good, still are a pretty good team, and I took over the office operations and the marketing stuff and the brand development. And then we decided to do another restaurant, which is the Glutenwasser.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I just realized that I'm more into developing brands or concepts more. And then I was at some point approached by a building company from Oldenburg, and they said, "Look, we're trying to do this service apartments thing. Do you think that you can do a concept for that as well? Because you have been concepting restaurants, and we kind of feel this is kind of the same direction, guest experience." So I said, well, I think I can do it. And that is now Q Apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And back then I started to scout the tech stack that I thought we would need, and pretty quickly it became clear that Appaleo would be the perfect fit for what I had in mind. And then I met Martin Reichenbach at the Internorga in Hamburg in 2018, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of just matched, and from there on it was pretty clear that we'll go with Appaleo. And I haven't never had any second thoughts about that actually, and it was an awesome experience also to be kind of an early adopter. And it's just awesome to see how this how the whole concept was growing within the process, and things that I thought I would need or we would need from Q Apartments. I just emailed Martin, and like a few weeks later that was just live and worked. So and at some point Martin and I just had a phone call, and he just told me that they are looking for staff, and I said, tell me more about it. And somehow this then pretty quickly became a serious job offer, and now I'm on board with Appaleo.
And what exactly do you do for Appaleo right now?
Yeah, what do I not do for Appaleo? Actually, my position is customer success manager, which basically just means that I am responsible for helping our clients to get on board, which means guiding them through the process from demoing, and if they decide for Appaleo, then just helping them through the process, how to get their tech stack together. Although as we are a platform, we just offer the possibility to create your own tech stack. So we kind of have this intermediate position where we offer this platform, and then we just leave them out in the open, all the air partners that we have, and just. But course, we try to kind of guide them a bit to show them what what could be a good fit for their specific needs, and that's my day-to-day operations, helping clients to get on board, finding the tech stack, and supporting as well after the go live. But also what I'm involved with is on from a more internal perspective, just working on the product from a client perspective, just talking a lot with the product developers, features that we think would be a good fit for the market, or that we get as a feedback from the clients that they would need. So this is kind of like a pipeline to get the market response to the developers. It's also part of the job.
Wonderful. And what is your favorite part about Appaleo? What gets you pumped in the morning?
Actually, what got me pumped in the first place, and still is the fact that we're so agile. That I was on the client side for quite a bit, and I just said it in my first statement. It was so awesome to see that you could say, "Look, guys, it would be super cool if we could do this," and they said, "Yeah, let us look into it." And if most of the times, it's just like a few weeks later, I got an email or a call, and they said, we have this live now. Do you want to check? And this is just so awesome, because I know the other way around from the restaurant business, where you have also a lot of digital services now, but oftentimes it's like, we kind of communicate with that. And oftentimes in gastronomy, you have the POS, your central system, and this can communicate with your POS, and this can, and this can. You have to just to push the data around manually, and then you request features, and oftentimes it's, that would be nice to have. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So this is just so awesome to see how quickly we at Appaleo can react to so many requests. And if we can't react as Appaleo, we always have someone in mind that we can hint you to and say, maybe talk to them. They can integrate against our, they can code against our API, can integrate really quickly. And we had this example with, I think it was Hotel Resbot, who posted on LinkedIn that they did the integration in like 8 hours. It was so awesome to see, and that's really what gets me pumped every day.
It's definitely understandable. If you could have a magical power and you could pick any new skill overnight, what new skill would you have?
That's a tough one. None, actually, because I believe in processes. I believe there's merit to digging into things and getting involved with things, learning, and I really believe the value of any skill is going through the process of achieving it. I think any skill that you get for free is pretty much pointless. So I'd opt out of that one.
Fascinating answer. What would be something people would be surprised to know about you?
About me?
Yeah.
Oh. I cry while watching Lion King.
Me too. Every time.
I think everyone does, but no one's admitting to it. But yeah. But I have to watch it pretty regularly with my kids, and I also go like, I love them audience.
That's understandable. Yeah. The last time we did an interview, it was just a Q&A over just a script interview, and you spoke about how you worked with Q Apartments, getting them set up into the service apartment business. Could you tell me a little bit more about the setup within Apaleo? How was the onboarding for them specifically from the client perspective?
I mean, as we were pretty early adopters, this was pretty just like a very hands-on process. I mean, as you know, I talked to Martin Reichenbach in the beginning, and I think the actual onboarding was done by Esti back then. And I would say I'm kind of the more tech-savvy side, so I really didn't do much onboarding together with the customer success team back then, because I did the setup pretty much by myself, and I do think we made a lot of effort and have made a lot of progress in being able to offer this self-service approach, because a lot of things are very self-explanatory in the product. So, and that's ultimately what we want to reach, that pretty much everyone and anyone can just sign up for a test account and just go right on and start setting up the property. I think that's kind of part of the magic of Appaleo, that you, as soon as you get this test account and you just go through the process of setting up a property, you pretty much automatically realize how easy this is. And so that was what I was doing back then. I think I set up everything up to rate plans myself, and then I got involved with SD a lot, because we have a rather complex structure for rate plans. Because of this, we are discounting over length of stay, with short stay, mid stay, and mid stay, and long stay rate. So there's a lot of restrictions, and that also added to the decision that to the feeling that Appaleo is just the right fit, because it's so easy to set up these very complex structures and rate plans, and the ability to just copy them and just and derive them from each other, so you don't have to change every price in every rate plan, so you can just go for a base rate plan and change it there. So that was pretty self-explanatory, and but obviously when a product is growing, naturally there comes a bit more of explaining with it that you have to do, and I think we're on a good way to have this still on a self-service basis, but also being very approachable for our clients. And yeah, I think what I took with me back then was this experience that I don't have to wait for an appointment in like 6 weeks, where someone may have time to guide me through the process and do what has to be done, but I could do everything I needed to do, and then I just had to say, look guys, I'm done, we can go live now. So that was pretty awesome.
Nice. So as Lord of Onboardings for Apaleo, do you see a major difference of processes for the setup of different service apartments?
I mean, there's always slight differences, but generally speaking, I think you could say there's from what, especially those who are starting completely anew or have just a new project, the mindset, especially in this year, is pretty similar, because what everyone wants to do is to have like a mostly digital and completely seamless guest journey, because obviously in this year this one keyword everyone just had popping up was contactless check-in. So this is kind of the thing that everyone wants, and also in the service apartments business, most of the concepts are or try to be completely staffless or as staffless as possible. So the needs are pretty similar. So we have I think kind of good best practice approach for this, and obviously there's different app partners that can cater for different needs, and sometimes for the same needs, and then the decision is just really down to small details. And then oftentimes it's the difference if this just is a single property or this is a multi-property chain thing. Then you probably have some software that's being developed in-house with the chain that has to be integrated, or most of the times it already is integrated. So, but the main idea on how service apartments should work today is pretty similar, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, fascinating. You previously told me that since our first interview, you are now in contact with a hotel that wants to turn service apartment.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about the project?
Yeah, so this is a pretty big in terms of number of rooms, a city hotel in a major German city, and they are, as pretty much every hotel is, are severely affected by the corona crisis. So what we have been seeing throughout the year, and which is really something that not only we are seeing, but a lot of business analysts are seeing, that the service apartment sector just performed so much better than the classic hotel sector. And this has I think, a set of different reasons. One, of course, being that service apartments are more business focused than hotels, so this is obviously a plus. but then again, also the whole process of being staff, having the staff list, check-in, and all the operations around it being rather staffless. These are factors that make service apartments more robust or really more viable in this situation. And so they decided that not only because of Corona crisis, but also to just differentiate their portfolio. They're not trying, they'll do it. They are now renovating some of their larger rooms to be set up as service apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's not too much of a deal to recreate this, because the operations, I mean, they're pros, they know their way around hotellery, so they know how this works, and they just want to know about these fine details where service apartments work a bit differently from classic hotel rooms. And this has also a lot to do with distribution. I mean, we all know that we do have partnerships with HomeLike, for example, which really focus this market segment. And what we are seeing generally is that a lot of hotels are eyeing on service apartments because this segment is performing so well. And I really do believe that we will, as I said in our last interview, that we will see a big shift, especially in business travel, prolonged business travel, business trips that are longer than just a few days. I think this market will be heavily attacked by the service apartments business, and I really think that's just an awesome fit, and I think we will see a lot more very cool and new and modern and intriguing service apartments concept over the years.
Yeah, same here. So for others that are thinking of also going from hotel to service apartment, what are some things that they should keep at the forefront of their minds as they begin the process to switch over?
I mean, what you really should keep in mind is that this is, in most cases, I wouldn't say in all cases, because obviously there's 100% leisure hotels, sometimes they just have a different setup. But most of the times, this means staying within your business, doing things you already know how to do, but doing them with more streamlined processes and with less staff. Because basically, what the big difference is that your guests are staying longer and they need less care, and they are much more, I wouldn't say self-sufficient, but they need way less service that classic hotel guests will need. So this is really an opportunity for a lot of hotels. Again, not for all of them, because there's some markets and some positions where you wouldn't want to do that, but in most cases, especially in the larger cities, this is something because you're not shifting that much, you're not reinventing yourself, you're just adjusting, and you have the potential to gain a big market share here it has been growing for the last years and has been growing enormously.
Absolutely. How important do you see technology for new and older service apartments at this current time?
I mean, it's crucial because what we are experiencing this year is just an amplification of what has been the trend for the last years. Of course, we all hope that this Corona situation will end with the vaccines now, or kind of end at least. But still, there's so many good reasons to rather invest in a good tech stack than investing in a big staff. Because what we're seeing now, and a lot of business analysts are seeing this as well, is that the customer need has really shifted, and it's not so much about being greeted at the front desk anymore. It's more about the experience during the stay and being able to handle stuff instantly and by yourself. It could be something so trivial as being able to order something via app, or to maybe there's these very trivial things, not technically, but from the process, that you have these vending machines on your floor that work with your key card, that you can just go out on the floor and take a Coke or some snacks, and just you swipe your room card. And these are things that a lot of customers find so convenient, and they are looking for that. So I really think that this will be, and this is facilitated by technology, obviously. So I think it's really, I mean, we're in 2020 and we're talking about if technology. It's just how much and to what degree, really, I think. And yet, I think a good, well-integrated tech stack is just the very basis for your operations in the future.
Absolutely. So a lot of hotels and service apartments, or a lot of people within the accommodation industry, are wondering right now if now is the right time to update their technology. What are your thoughts on that?
Having a background on the client side, and also having a perspective from a tech company perspective, I kind of have mixed feelings about this. Not really mixed feelings, but I do understand why a lot of hoteliers are a bit struggling with the decision, because on one hand, from a technical perspective, it is a good time now because in a lot of places there are restrictions in place, so there's very few reservations and there's not much traffic in the hotel. So what you have now is time. So it would be a good time to update systems, to if you maybe need to migrate data from one system to another, it is a good time because the data sets are not so big now, and the hoteliers have some time on their hands now. But there's also the downside, because they have a lot of time now because the business is pretty low now. There are a lot of restrictions in place now. So I kind of understand. I don't kind of understand. I totally understand why hoteliers are hesitant to invest in tech now. But I really believe that in the long run, it's a good decision, because this situation will end, and those who take the chance now and kind of reinvent their processes and streamline them, they will benefit from that in the future. So I do understand why those owning the businesses are hesitant, because of the investment that has to be done. But in the long run, I think everyone who has the capability to do it now will benefit from that. Yes,
definitely. So you've also talked about in the past how you've done a bit of cross marketing between your wife's restaurants, your family's restaurants, and the service apartments that you've been involved with. How has technology played a part in the easement of that for you and your team?
Absolutely, the biggest role imaginable. I mean, it's just a few clicks. We're using the Better Space IQ tabs within Apartments, and there's this opportunity just to you have these tiles, and you can just add any content you want, and it was just super easy to just put this to link the restaurant in these tiles and say, look, we don't have any restaurants or any means of room service within Apartments, but look here, there's a restaurant just 50 meters down the road. And actually right now during Corona you can order, so you can get it delivered to your room, which is a service from the restaurant, not from Apartments. Yeah. But obviously both companies benefit from that. So it was super easy, and I wouldn't know what to do if we hadn't this technology set up. I mean, you could write them emails or something like that, but it's just so convenient just to have some guest-facing device or guest-facing web app where you can just put content in, and it's directly delivered to the guest, and it's just super easy.
And also for the guest aspect, during COVID time, that they don't want to go out and leave places aren't open, the fact that they can just click a button and have a great restaurant delivered right to their room door, that's great.
Yeah, and it's just so easy today to do it. Yeah,
perfect. How do you see technology transforming within the accommodation industry in the next 5 to 20 years?
Actually, I think a lot of things will be just more seamless. I think the overall process is pretty clear already. I mean, we already have concepts where you have a completely staff-free and self-service process from booking over check-in during the stay and check-out. Everything's automated and digital. So I think the process itself is pretty clear already and pretty well implemented for some concepts already. But I think, and what I would wish from a guest perspective is to just be even more seamless. I mean, we are seeing this with Apple Pay and Apple Wallet, for example, that this using your own device as a mean of identification and for payments even more conveniently. I mean, we have this amazing technology like Face ID where you can just authorize the payment by your face. I mean, this is just so awesome. I mean, it's so trivial now, but it's just really awesome. And 10 years ago, this was magic. So I think there will be more and more integrations for this. So what I hope for is that at some point I can just book a hotel room by just having my face checked on my iPhone and having set up some kind of identification means in my phone and I just click a button or just say book and then the whole process goes automatically. And that's also part of the magic at Apaleo that we already can facilitate that. So we just need the partners to build this. So that's one thing that I really believe will happen. The seamlessness will be the one thing that will be super easy to book, pay, and interact with your stay wherever you want to go. And also, what I from a customer perspective, from a hospitality perspective, I would hope that the one thing that we can't digitize yet, the housekeeping, will have just a boost in technology. I mean, I don't know if we may have drones that will clean the rooms afterwards at some point. I hope there will be. So that's I really don't know if there's really ongoing research there, but I really hope that because this is always the thing that we kind of stumble over, because this is the one thing that we can't make staff free and can't make it digital. So that will be very interesting to see who will come up with what idea for that. And then I think from a broader perspective, what we have been experiencing in the last years, that the concepts will focus, the hospitality as a business in the whole will focus more on event travel, making your travel just an event and making it an awesome experience. And we have these hotels in Finland. There's where you have these little glass igloos where you can watch the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. So I think this will grow a lot, and I hope it will, because I will happily book stuff like that. So and this, I mean, these concepts already make use of the technology that we have. I mean, these concepts are famous because they are very heavily represented on social media and stuff like that. So there's a lot of secondary and tertiary systems connected to that, and I think all this will just grow together and more seamless, and that will be a very interesting thing to see.
So in our last interview together, I asked you, what superhero would you hire? And your response was Batman, because of course his gadgets, he would be a fantastic employee.
Yeah.
However, as a classic into an Appaleo interview, my new question for you is, who is your overall favorite superhero and why?
It's really hard to tell. I'd still go with Batman, actually.
Okay.
Because he really isn't a superhero. He's just filthy rich, which enables him to build all this awesome technology that kind of makes him a superhero. So that's why I said Batman in our last interview, because I kind of feel that we are like a Batman company. We're not superheroes. We all are very human, but we have this idea to make magic, superhero-like stuff happen with with great technology. And I really think that's the Batman mindset that I would like to transport into my operations, because that's really we can't make superheroes out of anyone. From a Marvel perspective, where you magically have these powers, and it really comes back to what I said earlier with acquiring skills. Magically having some powers isn't really fulfilling, I think, but being able to build superpowers is just so fulfilling, and I really love that about Apaleo and Batman.
Understandable. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me
Thanks for
today
having me.
and talking all about yourself and Appaleo.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.